today I'm going to show you AuthAction dashboard and then explain what are the features we provide in the dashboard. So I'm going to get started. So create a demo account. So it asks for setup passkey. So at this point I'm going to skip and then show the demo. So whenever you sign up in AuthAction, so you end up in creating the tenant. Tenant is the workspace. You can create multiple application, all your users data, and then all your tenant related information will be there. So you can also save all those information in a specific region so that you can meet your compliance needs. So and then depends on your region, your tenant domain also will change. This can be serve over your hosted login page as well. So for demo purpose I'm going to use EU region. And then for develop environment, you can use multiple development, staging and production environment. It can be changed later as well based on your need, but for this demo I'm going to use development. So it will create the tenant, and then all this tenant related information, all authentication and information will be persisted in EU region. So by default it will create some sample application. um, so we provide three kind of application type at this point. um, Provide authentication for this kind of application. One is for single page application, and that is for Angular, React, Vue application. You can easily integrate OAuth 2. Code grant flow in a front-end application. You can use any open source OAuth 2.0 SDK, client-side SDK to integrate code grant flow with AuthAction. So there are documentation as well how to integrate and how to set up based on the specific framework. And then there is a machine-to-machine application. So it's used for a backend application. So if you have multiple microservices, you can easily secure those communication. Also you can use it for background scripts or CLIs and so on. And then we are offering third one, Passkey Plus. So Passkey Plus application is like if you already have an application with your custom authentication or any other authentication stack, you can easily integrate Passkey authentication on top of that without changing your existing authentication stack. So it will provide fingerprint login and face ID login and so on. So it can be used for login purposes, and also you can use it for admin operation that needs additional security as well. We will show you demo how to exactly integrate, how this exactly works, and this Passkey Plus application in later videos. So for a single page application, we support these kind of frameworks at this point. You can check GitHub example. So we have a sampler example how to integrate with this Angular framework. Similarly, React, Vue.js, Next.js, and plain vanilla JS as well. And then we have a documentation page how to integrate with that specific framework, so that you can go through and then easily integrate. And then there is a settings page. So here it will give you client ID, client secret, other redirect URIs, logout URIs you can configure here. So here the important thing is like you can check how your hosted login page will look like. So in this front end application, single page application can connect to multiple API servers, right? So in this front end application, again after a user getting authenticated, you get ID token and access token. So you can use that access token to connect your backend application API server. That can be configured here. You can also create our backend APIs. For example, I'm going to create one for a demo purpose. um, and then for your front end application, this one, in order to connect with this backend application, you can enable here and then pass this API identifier in your audience params, so that your access token will be used to access this API from your front end application. And then connection is like nothing but your authentication methods. So in this single page application login page, you can use multiple login options, like simple email password approach, and then you can also use login via social accounts and so on. So if we go and check the try hosted login page, this is how your login page will look like based on the current configuration. You can change dynamically, so I'm going to change it to enable login and via Google and login via GitHub option, and then I check it again, and then it will enable this social login buttons as well. So this will work by default for development environment. For production environment, you need to configure OAuth2 clients in their application portal, and then you need to configure here their client ID and client secrets. So by default, for demo purpose, we use our AuthAction demo account, so that the login will work. So when you move to the production setup, you can create this OAuth client, and then configure your client ID and client secret here. That will work specifically for your application. Yeah, so it will show. Yeah, so database is nothing but like a email password approach. The password user passwords are stored hashed manner. So we use industry standard best practices to persist all the highly secured information in database in an encrypted or a hashed methods. And social logins are specific to um, you can integrate social logins using this social connection tab. If you have any other provider that is not listed here, you can request in the chat, so that we can easily provide that one as well. So if you are providing B2B, serving B2B customers, you can also use this organization feature. You can create our test tags, and also all these operation can be performed via management client APIs, so that you don't need to do it manually. You can do all this operation from your application using management API. So organization, within organization, you can add members and so on. So right now there are no users in this tenant. So for demo purpose, I'm going to create one account. So this demo app will show your login works properly or not, and then what is the information your application will receive. This is the ID token information your application will receive. But here the users will be created, so you can manage your user from in the AuthAction dashboard. So you can see which application the user has access to and what role the user has. Currently there are no roles. I can create one. And then I can easily assign roles to multiple users who are want to. And then there is a feature called plan. So if you are providing SaaS product or any web application or website, if you provide some subscription to your users, you can also create those plans here. um, and then you can easily assign that to particular users. or particular args, so that you don't need to maintain all this information in your database with custom tables. So you can easily use all this information from AuthAction um, data. So you can use management API to extract all this information after user is authenticated, so that you don't need to custom implement all this stuff. Thanks everyone.